ABS, how do you like it? No,
love
yes,
it.
no.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm all right. It's certainly late when we're recording this, but that was a fun way to end an All-Star game.
Yeah, we're actually recording Wednesday's show on Wednesday because the All-Star game went so long. It's actually early Wednesday morning as we record this. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, and hit the bell so you know whenever our videos go live. And we have a TikTok page. If you're there, you can follow us at LockedOn_Yankees. So on today's show, we're going to talk about possible bullpen help that is on the 40-man roster and someone that the Yankees are scouting, an old friend. We're going to talk about that in segment 3. We're going to talk about how the trade deadline is quickly approaching, and there are some guys that are linked to the Yankees. We'll tell you all about that. But first, we have to talk about this All-Star game that looked like it was going to be a yawn, a blowout by the NL, and then it turned into something pretty great, actually.
Yeah, so first, ABS, how do you like it? No,
love
yes,
it.
no.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
It worked out terrific in this game. And I think what it showed is the proper frustration that the players have had and the managers have had with the umpires, because they were right pretty much every single time.
Yeah, there's only
the
one
player
that
and the umpire
wasn't
challenging.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they know, they have a pretty clear indication of what the strike zone is, and it just shows how arrogant and wrong the umpires are more often than not. It was great. I thought the speediness of how efficient it worked was great. Clearly, it's ready to roll out next year because it was speedy and efficient here. And I think it creates some interest in the building too. This is a cool thing to watch if you're there live in the building.
Because the fans get very excited if the player that they're rooting for is correct in the challenge. And the umpire didn't seem, who was it? Dan Iasonia, is that who it was behind home plate? He didn't seem angry by it at all. So
we'll see how the fans react. Not the fans. We'll see how the rest of the league reacts and how enjoyable it'll be when it's actually involved in a real game, because they can get a little gimmicky with it in the All-Star game, but it can't be when it's a real actual game. But I will say this sort of system works perfectly in tennis live. So right. I don't see why it wouldn't work in baseball. I think it's the right time, and they've perfected the system enough where they can actually go forward with it.
Yeah, it's so quick. I mean, it takes like less than 5 seconds for the image to come up on the screen for you to find out if it is in fact a ball or a strike. And, there are those, minuscule, like, the ball is like barely in the strike zone, but it is technically in the strike zone. And when it does happen, when they had it in spring training, it was 2 challenges. And if you lose a challenge, you lose the challenge and you're down to 1. But if you win, you just keep your 2 challenges. So you could be choosy when it comes to it, which is good because they're not going to give you if it was like an unlimited thing, that would be a problem. I like that it's only 2. And if you screw up twice, you're not going to have it the rest of the game. So you have to be very particular in which calls there were. But I think the players, in this instance, because it's an exhibition game, essentially, they were quick to do it, but it literally takes 5 seconds. It's so easy peasy, really.
100%. And because it's an exhibition game, it allows them to close it out with a home run derby. Now, this was an idea that was thrown out there a few years ago, and it's actually been instituted for a few years now in the All-Star game. It just hasn't had the opportunity to show itself because they haven't been tied after the game. I'll say this is the time to try out gimmicky stuff like that, because no one wanted to see this gun game go into extra innings. There's no need to see it go into extra innings. This is far more exciting. Now, I'll say this.
Especially when it starts at 8:40 Eastern.
Correct. I'll say this. The managers did not do the Major League Baseball and the fans of baseball any favors by not putting the star players out there. I don't know why Why could Aaron Judge not take 3 swings?
No, but is it because they used guys who were substituted in the game?
That's not the rule. The rule was anyone on the active roster is allowed to pinch.
So those guys were probably already in their street clothes.
That's what I figured, maybe. Or Judge just said to Boone, listen, I don't want to do it.
But like, if you're the American League manager, you should, before the game even starts, just in case we get into this, I want you, and you, Raleigh, Judge, and whomever the third person would be. But you would put Raleigh at the end because you'd want him to pull ahead, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, why? No offense to Aranda, but 11. He has 11 home runs. Like, why are you putting him as the last guy?
Yeah, it just made no sense. I mean, we're going to sound like two people that look for every reason to complain about something Boone does, even if it's an exhibition home run derby. But really, what are we doing? The guy with 11 home runs in the year is bad on the home run derby. I mean, come on.
It's like, oh, we're going to have, like Brent Rooker, nice job. 2 home runs on 2 swings. Arozarena should have done better, man. What the heck?
Yeah. How about Kyle Schwarber?
Oh,
I mean, he hits tanks, Stacey. I mean, he gets everything of that ball.
I called that. As soon as he stepped in, I said to my brother, I'm like, oh, he's definitely hitting 3 home runs on 3 swings. Like, there's no way he's not hitting 3 home runs on 3 swings.
He's a fun player to watch. Like, he hits the bleep out of the ball when he hits it.
Here is my issue. John Smoltz. The man had a long, storied career, played with Hall of Famers, played in World Series.
I know what comment you're going after.
And the man says that Kyle Schwarber hitting 3 batting practice home runs in a home run derby or a home run swing off in the All-Star game is the most clutch thing he's seen.
Yeah, let's take a step back here. This guy,
John,
Kyle Schwarber.
I'll name
Kyle
two
Schwarber's
things.
played in a couple World Series.
John, I'll name a couple of things that you were witness to. Okay. Jim Leyritz's game-tying home run in Game 3 of the World Series. No, 4 of the World Series in Atlanta. You know that well. You were there for that series. The walk-off home run in '99 in Game 3. I won't mention who hit it because he's. You witnessed that. Really, there were so many things that they said in this broadcast that I had it muted when people weren't home because I didn't want to listen to it. And then when people arrived, I was like, all right, I gotta put the volume back up. I can't take John Smoltz. He says dumb things and he's condescending. And how can you be condescending in an All-Star game? Like, what is the matter with you? Just be happy that the All-Star game is being played. These guys are clearly having fun doing it. You know, you get to see the game stars on display. And let's just talk about the Yankees' contributions. Jazz did contribute because that ball that he hit really hard moved Bobby Witt Jr. to third base, and then he was able to score. Yeah, Olsen muffs up the play on the first ball or the second ball Jazz hit, and then he makes that incredible play.
Ball bounce off the ground, and he made an incredible play there.
Jazz hit that hard. I mean, Witt obviously would have scored from second, but he moved him over to third. The AL was able to come back all the way at the last second, basically, to tie the game because Tarek Skubal giving up 3 hits for the first time in the first inning in a game in the All-Star game gives up 2 runs. Paul Skeens is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. Great. It's so much fun watching him. It really is. This is a fun stat about Skeens. First reigning Rookie of the Year to start in an All-Star game. And last year, he was already the 4th to start an All-Star game and win Rookie of the Year in the same season. The last one being Hideo Nomo way back in 1995.
Yeah, and that Fernando Valenzuela was the other one, and Mark Friedrich, which if you do your research, I'm sure some of you listening remember back then, that guy has the most one-hit wonder career in the history of sports. It's crazy how he jumps onto the scene and is like everyone thinks he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and by 78 his career's gone. No one knows where he is. Wild career. Look up. They can make a documentary on that guy's life. I will say too, the Hank Aaron celebration they did in the middle of the game, that was so cool. Baseball rarely gets stuff like that right, and they killed it. That was so cool with the firework of the home run showing and the record-breaking home run and the imagery of him in the old Braves blue uniform and then showing his family member there. I mean, I thought it was done so perfectly, honoring a legend like that in the game. It was so cool.
Some other things quickly before we go to segment 2. Okay. So Mizorowski, with the 5 fastest pitches in the game, he hit 102.
He should be. He should have been playing in that game. It's about promoting the game. These people that are holding this like holy sacrosanct of the All-Star game, like you have to pitch a certain amount. Who cares? It's to celebrate the game and promote the game, and that's doing that. I'm sorry, a rookie pitcher throwing 102 is celebrating the game. It is.
And here's another issue I had with Fox. Ken Rosenthal is talking to the kid, and he says, "Some people didn't want you here. So how are your teammates treating you?" It's like, why are you saying that to him? Don't say that to him. Just be like, this is your first All-Star game. You know, you came up a month ago. You set the league on fire. How cool is this for you? Don't say, oh, there are people who have issues with you being in the All-Star game. Come on.
People hate you. How does it make you feel? Very weird stuff.
Leave something in the comments and let me know if you heard him say that and if you cringed as much as I did, because I had to rewind it because I was like, did he really just say what I think he just said?
I'll give you a positive note from Fox on the broadcast. Less butt mention than ESPN. Cal Raleigh's butt was not a major focus of Fox's broadcast as much as it was with ESPN's broadcast.
That is true. That is true.
So I'll give him that.
So good job by Fox on that.
Correct.
There was no, butt cam or anything like that.
Yeah. No, we're glad with that. Yeah.
Which I'm actually surprised about that with all the other gimmicks that Fox has, that they didn't have a posterior cam for Cal Raleigh. So yeah. So game ends 6-6. They do the swing off. It was actually a lot of fun. I kind of.
It would be. Them. How do you feel about it in a regular season game? I'm interested to see what you think about that.
Oh no, I think that's an exhibition game type of thing.
You see, it's funny you say that though, because I had the same reaction when someone asked me that. It's what if this was in a regular season game? And I was like, it's too gimmicky. I don't think it works.
I mean, it kind of works like a playoff shoot. It almost works like a shootout though, because you got
that was my thought process then, because it's like people said the exact same thing when the NHL instituted the shootout. Like, oh, this is stupid. It's gimmicky, everything like that. A breakaway to finalize it. And now people love it. I love it. So yeah. So I feel like it would be one of those things where if baseball instituted it when it first came in, everyone would be like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." All the old timers would hate it, and then eventually you'd love it. I mean, think about it this way: imagine a scenario, a playoff game, no chance. I want it to be straight extra innings, absolutely. Yeah. But imagine a regular season game where you had Mets Yankees and you get Alonso versus Judge at the end. It would be theater action. That would be really cool. It would drive TV ratings up, and it gets the games. Is the Ghost Runner that much fun?
No.
So I don't think it needs to be talked about more. But I think initial reaction when you hear, would you do this full time in baseball? Everybody that's been watching the game prior to 2015 is going to say, "Oh, absolutely not. Too gimmicky." And then when you think about it a little more, you're like, actually, it could be kind of fun.
Or maybe they do it. You do the Ghost Runner for 2 innings, and if no one scores, then you do the swing off.
See, I mean, there are ways to discuss this where, because do we really need a games going into the 12th inning and stuff like that? It just, this would be that imagine Mariners Yankees and that last series, and you get Raleigh versus Judge. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know if we're gonna get there, but that would be pretty awesome. Let
us know down below what you think of that idea. Yeah. Because now
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't actually hate it either. But again, no playoffs. But regular season.
No. But hockey's the same. Hockey's the same way. Hockey went with the gimmicky thing in the regular season because you didn't want overtime going forever. But the playoffs, it's straight 20 minutes, 5-on-5. The playoffs, you'd have to do regular extra innings.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. We have the link in the description. You get texts from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups every day during the season, roster moves, breaking news, so you don't have to keep checking social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, the trade deadline is quickly approaching. We will talk about who the Yankees are rumored to possibly get and who we think they should get next.
If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you just wait? No, of course not. You called the next one. And that's why having a reliable business line is so, so important. And that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication. It's all from an app on your phone or computer. Did you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? OpenPhone has solved that problem instantly. And the AI agent handles after-hours calls, it answers common questions, and it captures leads so you never miss a customer again. OpenPhone is offering Locked On Yankees listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedonmlb. That's openphone.com/1word lockedonmlb. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
If you're new to our show, we have Fan Mail Friday. We do it every week. We have you guys ask us questions. Yankees, baseball, life, whatever you want. And this is how you do it if you're not a Locked On Yankees insider. You go to our YouTube page, you click on the post tab on our channel page, and you will see the latest post that I left. And it says, leave your Fan Mail Friday questions here. The deadline, Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
So, Stacey, in the bottom of the 8th, all of Yankee Nation was clenching a little bit tighter when we all saw Eugenio Suárez get hit in the wrist hand area on a hit by pitch. Why were we all scared? He is linked, and we're not breaking news here, in every single metric as a Yankee top trade candidate for them to go after. It seems like it's kind of a match made in heaven for the Yankees, and I'm here to tell you that it is the match made in heaven, and they need to make this trade happen. There are plenty of reports attaching him with Merrill Kelly or Zach Gallen also. I think they will try to get that done, and I think there's plenty of potential there because both of those guys have ace-type stuff, and Matt Blake has proven to be able to fix guys that don't seem to have it right at the moment. But the top priority has to be Eugenio Suárez. First of all, Stacey, if you're unaware of the season he's having, the Diamondbacks have got off to a hot start, have really kind of faltered since, have had some injury problems. People are thinking they're going to try and retool. Well, when you retool a roster, you don't trade guys like Corbin Carroll that have years of control left. You trade guys that are towards the end of a contract that you can get some value back for. Suárez is one of those guys. Stacey, he only makes $15 million this year. And right now he's hitting .250 with 31 homers and 78 RBIs. He's got an .889 OPS, and he's a Gold Glove type fielder. That is, I can't think of a more pinpoint definition of what the Yankees need to add to their roster right now than a player like this. Good power numbers, great fielder, really good OPS. It's exactly what they need to plug into the middle of their lineup right now. It's the perfect trade to be made. He did say this in they asked him at the All-Star Game Media Day if he'd be willing to go to the Yankees. He said it's a team that wants to win. If they're hungry still, if I got over there, I would do my best to try and help them win the World Series. So I think it's a must trade candidate. If you can get one of the pitchers involved too, I think it's a good idea. But it doesn't necessarily need to be one of those 2-for-1 kind of trades. You have to make sure you get Suárez because it is a match made in heaven if I've ever seen one before.
Yeah, he made a really good play, too, in the field after he got hit by the pitch.
Yeah.
And even my mother was watching the game, and she said, wow, that was a really good play. So if my mom, who barely watches baseball, is impressed by a guy running in on a ball and throwing it really hard to first base, she was like, wow. I said, yeah, he's actually linked to the Yankees. They might try to trade for him. And that's why I was freaking out when he got hit on his hand in the previous half inning. So yeah,
it is a perfect match for what the Yankees need. Like if you look at what they need out of a third baseman, it's exactly what they need. It's perfect for them. They're also third base wise really, really tied to O'Neal Cruz, and I know some of you might be salivating at the thought of that because after you seeing him in the home run derby on Monday night, you're possibly thinking, oh, wow, if they can get a player like that. He's not the player that he was in the home run derby that he is in the field. He's very on and off in the field. Now, he's an unbelievable talent and has certainly a lot of potential, but he hasn't put that potential together for long stretches of time yet in his major league career. Now, he's not locked up, so there's the candidate of, oh, well, he's got 4 years of arbitration left starting this offseason, so you got 4 years of control left on him. He's 3 years left, actually, 3 years of arbitration. This is his 4th year. There is a possibility of the thought of, oh, if he gets right at the Yankees, he's got 3 years of team control left on him. That's a possibility. Suárez is only there for 2 months. I'll give you this, Stacey, of why I think Suárez is the move over going after Cruz. Yes, Cruz having the time available is tempting if you're a Yankee fan. What makes Suárez more available, the Yankees have gotten so burnt on off-season acquisitions. Mid-season acquisitions. They were really high on mid-season. One that comes to mind is Joey Gallo. And they loved it because he had the extra year. After the year, he had really had a year and a half left on his deal. He was terrible the last 2 months of that deal, and then he was so bad they had to cut him mid-season in the last part of that deal. Suárez is only under contract for the rest of this season. So if he comes here and he is absolutely awful, cut bait, see you later, goodbye.
I don't think he's going to be, though.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But if he comes over here and he's great, guess what? All it's going to take to keep him here is money. And Suárez is also 33 years old, Stacey. So you can give him a nice 4, maybe 5-year deal till he's 38 years old. And whatever deal you give him, even if it's a slight overpay, it takes you to the end of the Yankees' perceived window they're in right now to win. It takes you to Aaron Judge's 38-year-old season. It takes you to Garrett Cole's 39-year-old season. It takes you to Carlos Rodon's 37-year-old season. All of your core are older towards the end of their careers when you're trying to break it down. So to me, even if you extend Suárez after this season, he's only going to be able to command a 4 or 5 year deal. And that takes you exactly to the end of the window that you have right now to win a championship. So I think on every account, Suárez is the absolute perfect acquisition for them. The only thing I'm afraid of is giving up too much talent in the minor leagues. And that's where I think we should close this out on. Because if you involve Kelly or Gallen in that deal, which I think there is motivation to do, the Diamondbacks are all of a sudden going to want a top-tier prospect back for that. And I don't know if you're comfortable sending Spencer Jones to Arizona when you could lose these guys in the offseason. If you do, it's an all-time bad trade. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm glad it's not my job to make decisions for the Yankees.
Yeah, just keep in mind, this is not a move that George Lombard Jr. would be anywhere near talked about, but this could be a Ben Hess type move. He could be one included, and the Yankees love him, and he throws really hard, and he strikes out a lot of guys. That could be one of those guys that the Diamondbacks like, we want him. And so we've talked about this before, every deadline. You got to give to get. So we do acknowledge that, but I do think Hess might be one of those guys that it's worth giving to get when it comes to getting Suárez, because again, if you look at everything that Suárez is as a player, he's perfect for what they need right now. And rarely in off season, in a trade deadline special, Stacey, do you see a guy or do you have a guy available that is everything you need at that moment? Generally, it's you're kind of shopping on the bargain basement, right? Or you're shopping at the clearance aisle. You're trying to get someone who, yeah, he fits and there's upside, but you don't know what you're going to get. You pretty much know what you're going to get here, and it's exactly what they need in the middle of their lineup and in the field. I think you have to make this deal at all costs.
Coming up, some Yankees news involving 2 relievers. One is currently on the 40-man, in case you didn't hear, and another one is an old friend. We'll be discussing that next.
Guys, summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights or golf on the green, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even that much more exciting. You're already following all the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach, and there's no better way to do it than that. I've been using FanDuel to track all my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions, and there's always fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, there's fast ways to get paid out, and it makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. So whether I'm placing a bet or a same-game parlay and watching a bet right into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm a part of the action. Are you new to FanDuel? New customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And guys, good news. Not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, you mentioned some acquisitions the Yankees have made and some moves they've made. Before that, I want to mention it was announced that Aaron Judge is getting his own signature Air Jordan 4 cleat. They're called the Judge Cement 4s. They're white with a little gray. They look like the Jordan Cement 4s. If you're looking up, they just have cleats below them. And they, if you want Judge's size, they do come in a size 17 if you're looking for that. But yeah, it's pretty cool that Judge, he has been signed to Jordan Brand, but getting his own official cleat is a pretty big step in him as an athlete. So I thought that was cool to mention.
Those are big feet. I have big feet for a lady. Well, not huge, but I'm a size 10. I have big.
Not quite 17.
No, but for a woman, you know, if I get a pair of heels, size 10s look really big.
Yeah, and they showed them on TV, the Judge's cleats, and they were insane. Very large. Very large.
But he's a big boy. He was standing next to someone in the pregame, like walking around the field, and made them look like a child. And it was a grown man. It was a grown baseball player, and he made him look like an elementary school child. And I just was like, wow. I know how big Aaron Judge is. I've been watching him since 2016, but every once in a while, you just see him at a certain angle next to someone, and you're just like, wow, man, yeah, that is a big dude. And he makes everything he does look so easy. It's unbelievable.
He plays like a smaller guy, too. The elements that are his game, like the speed that he has and the fielding ability.
Yeah.
He doesn't play like he's 6'8". It's remarkable how big
he plays like a 6 foot, you know, like or sometimes he even plays like a Brett Gardner type. Like it's he's flying all over the place. Yeah.
It's wild. It really is. So what happened throughout the Yankees acquiring through roster moves here?
Yeah, so they claimed right-hander Rico Garcia off waivers from the Mets. This was reported by Anthony DeComo of MLB.com. They designated Garcia for assignment last week. The Yankees had an open 40-man spot. He's out of options, so they would need an active roster spot for him. So
don't hate this. The Yankees have a good track record over the last few years of seeing a pitcher and whatever analytics they have on him, Matt Blake seems to be able to figure these things out. So when they go out and acquire a pitcher like that, Matt Blake has now earned the right for maybe not, you don't have the ultimate confidence in it or think he's going to be a superstar, but Matt Blake has earned the right to really, as a Yankee fan, be okay with them making acquisitions like this. Even if you watched him with the Mets and didn't like what he gave the Mets, Matt Blake has earned the right for you to say, okay, let's see what he's got, because he's figured out enough of these guys. And really, I mean, Fernando Cruz is one of the best examples this year of it, where not great numbers with the Reds, and he was like, go get me that guy. They got him, and he's been outstanding this year. Matt Blake just sees something in the numbers and figures things out with these kind of guys.
Yeah, Garcia's 31. He signed a minor league deal with the Mets in the offseason. He threw 30 1/3 innings at AAA. He had a 4.45 earned run average. He struck out 27.4% of the batters he faced, but he also gave out walks at a 14.8 clip.
Maybe the Yankees feel like if they can fix the walk problem, they can live with that strikeout rate. That's a fairly high strikeout rate, and we've discussed the Yankees love that kind of stuff. They love guys with high K rates.
Yeah, that information is from MLB Trade Rumors, because just to pull the curtain back, we didn't have a segment 3. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I went to MLB Trade Rumors and I said, oh, right, I forgot about this guy. Okay. And then I saw this next news that I didn't know was happening.
Wild.
Free agent reliever David Robertson, D-Rob, has been throwing for interested clubs recently. This was reported by Will Salmon of The Athletic, and 2 of his former clubs, the New York Mets and the New York Yankees, have at least looked into the possibility of signing Robertson, per Salmon's report. Several other clubs are expected to scout a throwing session for Robertson over the next week or so. We all remember rookie D-Rob, and if you didn't read the book about the 2009 championship, I will tell you this story very quickly. They had a party. I believe it was CC Sabathia's birthday. They had this big party, and everyone was dressed up. and everyone started jumping in the pool. D-Rob did not want to jump in the pool because he was wearing an expensive suit, the first one of his life, that was bought for him by A-Rod. And he didn't want to jump in the pool. And they kind of all made fun of him for it. And he was just like, this is the first nice suit I've had in my life. I'm not going to ruin it by jumping into a pool. So that's how long ago that was. He's 40 years old now.
I actually, I heard a different story. I heard he didn't want his shirt to come off because he had a new tattoo that his wife didn't like on his chest. Yeah, I wonder what Robertson can give. He's not really ever been a velocity guy.
Right.
So I don't know if his stuff would not play at this age. I don't know if age really matters because he's never really played off velocity. Generally, that's what drops when you get older. Right. And his velocity never really has been a thing, but he's been all over the league now. Cubs, Phillies, Rays, Yankees, Mets. He's been everywhere. I don't know if it would still work out. He is a lot older and his last impressions in baseball weren't great, but
they weren't terrible.
They weren't terrible. And if they see something, he's one of those guys though that refuses to retire. He is one of those guys that just he always wants to play baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that report, I was like, wow, that's
not a name you were expecting to see.
It's incredible. Also, there is a guy on Blue Sky who is keeping track of Robinson Cano because he is inching ever so closely to 4,000 professional hits because he's still playing down in Mexico.
He's playing great apparently in Mexico too.
Yeah, as a 42-year-old. He's going to be 43 in November and he's still hitting the ball. Like obviously he's not facing the same kind of guys that you face in the major leagues, but still to actually be able to play at 42 and hit and be that close to 4,000 where he could possibly reach it by the end of the season is pretty amazing.
Cool. It's pretty cool. Again, we said in the 09 team a few days ago, he would have been a Hall of Famer. That infield would have had 3 or 4 Hall of Famers if it weren't for the stupid steroid rule. He would have been. He was that good.
He was. Robbie Cano, don't you know? Speaking of infielders, tomorrow's show, we're going to be talking about Anthony Volpe because he is the big topic among Yankee fans. Unfortunately, we're going to do a deep dive into everything that's happening with him and give you our thoughts about what we think his future will be with the Yankees. So that'll be interesting.
Volpe deserves that feature from us, and the Yankee fan base deserves it too, because there's been a lot of heated energy going towards Anthony Volpe's direction, and I feel like just a little hint of what we're going to get to. Has he played well? No. Is the energy that's directed towards him also necessarily fair? We'll discuss that tomorrow.
Right. It's a lot of vitriol. We're going to discuss it. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you tomorrow.